47 is having a honeymoon with the voters. 4 weeks in, and President Trump is racking up some of his best approval ratings of either term.
Our CBS poll finds that a majority of Americans, 53%, approve of the job he's doing. That's a better approval number than he ever reached during his first term in the White House.
And holy smokes, I mean, look at what the difference is between now versus 8 years ago during the first Trump term. What a difference 8 years makes. He's on the positive side of the ledger at plus 4 points. A positive net approval rating for Donald Trump. Again, whoa, 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 whoa. Every single day of Trump's second term so far, he has been on the positive side of the ledger. 21 days, all 3 weeks. That's already 10 more days than he was in his entire first term.
Whoa. A big part of the president's appeal, his unfiltered, off-the-cuff comments, like when Trump straight up mocked this outlet.
I don't know even what you're talking about. Neither do you. Who are you with? Who? No wonder. I thought they died. Are they still around? I haven't read them in years. I thought they died.
I think they just got a desk at the Pentagon, actually. Jesse, I want to come to you. This is a very nice honeymoon that he's having. And in the CBS poll, it was interesting as well. He has a plus 10 advantage now with Gen Z voters. That was his biggest positive.
I don't even know what Gen Z is.
Young
There's so
people,
many generations
young
now.
people
X,
like him.
Z. Are you a boomer? Just kidding, Jessica. So this is like a guy who buys an estate who the previous owners had just let go. And he gets to work immediately. You know, you have like the $1 million solar paneled greenhouse, which was growing alfalfa sprouts that no one ate. Gutted it. Now it's a beautiful English walking garden with a koi pond and Japanese maples. He comes in, converts to natural gas, fixes all the holes in the fence, fires all the contractors that are bilking the estate, and restores it to what it should be. And that's what he's doing to this country. It's a restoration of the United States of America because the previous owners had let it get dilapidated, Jessica. And now everyone's marveling at how great the country can be. Oh my gosh, look at all these great things. This is what it should be. It's now a national historic landmark.
Ooh.
All right, so we're getting new contractors, new alarm system, no squatters, no broken windows. And this is what America deserves.
Like the good old days when I was young, since I'm a boomer.
Whatever you are, Jessica, whatever you want to be.
I can identify as I wish. Greg, what do you think is primarily fueling the popularity surge, especially compared to the first term?
Well, I hate to say it, but idiot boy over there stole my
You also had a
voice.
renovation?
The reason why 70% believe Trump was fulfilling their promises, even if they weren't really paying attention, is because it's not that he's doing new things, like you said. It's because the Democrats before were doing weird and awful things. They strayed so far off the reservation, even Liz Warren was sending smoke signals. So even if you weren't for Trump, you're okay with his changes. You know what he's like? He's like a handyman who comes to your house one afternoon and starts fixing little things, the squeaky door, the broken ceiling fan, the loose floorboard, and you didn't know what you were missing until it got fixed. And so you kind of like, I don't really like the handyman, but boy, my life has gotten a lot better since he fixed these things. And yeah, sure, sometimes he fixed some other things that I don't want fixed, like I don't need to lubricate a lock, but overall, my life is considerably better since America's handyman came along. The fact that he's got 53% approval rating is amazing because usually the headwinds of a legacy media would keep that never above 40. Every day for a Republican is an away game, to continue the sports analogy. And here you have a visiting team, right? That's the Trumps, crushing the home team, the media, in popularity. He's essentially, the White House is essentially the Harlem Globetrotters, and the Democrats are the Washington Generals. And they always were that way, but now they've lost the credibility of their PR team, the media, Jessica, of which you are a part, and you should be deeply ashamed of yourself.
And what are you?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's a good question.
So I thought, and there'll be more of it during special report this evening, but I thought Brett did a great job interviewing the president, and he asked him about prices, which was the most important issue going into the election. He said, when can we expect them to come down? And Trump, waffled and whiffed a bit and moved all around. How long do you think the grace period will be for the administration on prices if they?
I think he has some time. I
Yeah.
think that people realize that Joe Biden caused the inflation and that ignored it. His chief of staff called it a high-class problem. Now, all of a sudden, the Democrats are worried about egg prices. And again, they could have watched anybody here that said, like, this is what's happening. They could have looked at any poll. This is what's happening. So, like, he wasn't even in office 6 hours before Hakeem Jeffries had tweeted about how terrible grocery prices were. And so I think the people look at that and say, come on, sit down, and give President Trump a little bit of time. It's been 3 weeks. So I think people have that in mind. But it is a concern, and I think that's why President Trump he understands that, and which is a little bit of a way for him to say, just give me a little bit of a minute, because he did that last week on tariffs as well. I think the voter numbers you asked Jesse about, and he ignored it. The voters under 30, it's wild. They approve of Trump overall by 10, 55, 45, and even millennials are +4. So this tells me that the honeymoon isn't going to wear off for a while, and also that people are looking at this with some very fresh eyes. The Democrats have positioned themselves in the 10 to 15% of every issue. And President Trump, you can call it low-hanging fruit or whatever, but he's like, you know what? Actually, let's get rid of the DEI things. Let's get rid of the plastic straws. Pennies, we don't need them. Deport violent criminals, yes, okay, we want to do that. And so the Democrats are like, but we're going to get the courts to do it. And maybe that'll work, I don't know, but I just feel like if you're in the 10 to 15% of every issue, get a new issue.
Judge, I do think Dana's right about the action element of this, that even if people don't necessarily agree with everything that's being done, they like to see something in motion, especially when it comes to government. And I think you're seeing that maybe in the most extreme on the immigration issue.
Well, I think you see it on every issue. I think the operative word here is the juxtaposition between this administration and the prior administration. I mean, people describe Donald Trump as energetic, tough, focused, effective, and to continue the analogy of the handyman who comes to your house, this is the handyman who does everything that you asked him to do. 64% approve of his promise and now his actions at the border. 59% support his move toward the deportation of criminals. 54% approve of his handling of the Hamas and the Gaza conflict. 70% say he's doing what he promised. I mean, think about it, a handyman that you hire who actually is doing what you hired him to do. And to me, that number is incredible because it tells you that they're finding this politician, our commander-in-chief, credible. The man is credible. How many politicians can you say are credible?
I guess just one.